cameras, action. Now let's engage in the dialogue. Let me browse through your mind like a catalog. Conscious metaphysics, allow me to break down the specifics. Educate, motivate. If you don't feel free, you can liberate. An LLC is what I'm building, the #1 podcast in the building. So let me slide on up in the Bentley truck in my Versace shirts. They can't get enough of this deep conversation, expansion, elevation. I'll send you a link you can tap in. It ain't quite what I used to do back then. Now I get it on the front and the back end. Multiple money streams keep coming in. Enlightened, empower, evolve. Enlightened, empower, evolve. Just in time. Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. I believe everyone's doing well and everything is unfolding perfectly. I'm excited yet again, extra excited, especially after I just finished reading this bio. I have an amazing guest today who is an actress, a singer that has performed with Chaka Khan, Lionel Richie, Robbie Williams, Seal, Josh Stone, and more. And is also a coach. And I see something in here about winning an award for being a maestro, conducting a symphonic orchestra. Amazing. She's also a coach, hailing out of Toronto, Canada. Today, we have Leona Philippo. How are you doing, Leona?
I am doing awesome. Thank you for having me. This is so wonderful. I'm so excited to be speaking with you.
Yes. And I'm a firm believer that time is one of our most precious assets. And for you to share some of your precious time in the history of your life here with me, I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Yes, let's just get right into it, Leona. I mean, wow. I mean, you got so much just exciting things going on here. Could you give us a little bit of backstory on your career as a singer and an actress, and touch a little bit on where you've been, and just give us a little insight on that, please.
Sure. Well, it's quite interesting. I was born in Canada. I'm of Jamaican descent, but
Wow.
I'm adopted by Dutch parents. So hence I live in Amsterdam in Holland. But from a young age, I remember falling in love with the piano because I heard Debussy and I heard Peer Gynt. So it was always this classical music that kind of like was like a fairy tale for me. And so I went upstairs to the piano and I started trying to find the melody on the piano. And my uncle said, "Okay, this is weird. This kid can't even," I was 3 at the time. He said, "She can't even get to the pedals. You need to put her in music class really, really soon." So my parents were like, "No, she's way too young." But they did. And that's how I kind of got into music. And music just basically took me on this epic journey where I was performing since a young age. When we moved to Holland, I continued with music and singing and acting in theater, on TV, and movies. So there's always been a big performance area there. And what I loved about it was how I could uplift the audience, their energy. Everybody
Yes.
became happy. And so later on in my life, when the world stopped, we all know, that's when I got a whole new dimension with my career into uplifting people in a whole different way, other than music, which I never thought possible. So that's very, very interesting. But yeah, I've performed in more than 30 countries over the world. I won the Voice of Holland. Conducting orchestras is awesome. Just anything I could do. I'm like an adventurer, basically. Anything I could do within music, I wanted to do, basically. Yeah. While I'm here, let me just have fun, right? So that's how that kind of unfolded. Yeah.
Wow, and congratulations on your accomplishments and performing around the world. Now, what was that bit about you being conducting a symphony, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, yeah, it's
Wow.
actually it was a game show here in Holland where known people in the industry they
Right.
they they kind of they give you like the baton of the conductor, and they run the camera, you're live, and they got like 3,000 people in the theater, and they're like, good luck. And that's the
Wow.
game. And so it takes like 8 weeks. And then people basically fall off at the end of each episode. And lo and
And you
behold,
won.
yeah, I figured out how to speak with these 60 people with all these different instruments. And yeah, my favorite one was, do you know the theme song from E.T.? You know,
Yes.
that was the one I just like, let me try that one. We got to do that. And that's the one I won with. So yeah,
Wow.
it's the most incredible thing to do.
That's exciting. That's very exciting. And also, I resonate with classical music because I listen to classical music as I read. And
Oh,
I've been listening to classical music for about 10 years now. And
yeah,
so I'm pretty familiar with certain compositions and, Beethoven and Vivaldi and
yeah,
a few other composers, classical from back then, and just
yeah,
beautiful music. And something about that music just inspires and stimulates my mind. And it's just
yeah.
amazing. Yes,
Well,
yes,
this is actually really interesting what you're saying, because getting back to, or getting ahead to the coaching,
right.
I'm also very like interested in how energy moves and how energy works. And I don't
Right.
know if you know cymatics.
Right. No,
Cymatics,
I've
yeah.
never heard.
Oh, this is awesome. Cymatics is basically the law of sound and what sound does to matter. And so certain
Yes.
notes, yes, you've heard of it. Certain notes,
Yes.
they form matter in certain constructs, and it's always
Yes.
in the construct of sacred geometry. And now there's so much power in classical music, that that, and this is also why they always say like play classical music when your children are young, because right, the brain develops in a certain way, and there's like mathematical concepts within the music. So basically it's not only just a cool bumper sticker that says life is a symphony, because it literally is. So
That
it's
is a
awesome that, yeah, with
that
the
is
musical background that you have, you resonate with that as well. Yeah.
wow, that's very amazing. And I believe in just it's just I want to say so much. I mean, I just spoke with a guest. I can't remember her name right now, but I spoke with her last week, and she's also from Canada. But and this is to highlight you. I'll just dip over here for a second. But the thing is, she played classical music for her child, her baby girl, from when she was in the womb. And now that she's writing books already, like at 3 years old, authoring books already. So there is something to it. And I didn't remember the name somatic, but yes, uh, I'm familiar with that, in experiments where they play music and watch water crystallize in certain ways. Yes, so I'm familiar with that, and
Exactly.
that is amazing. So yes, there is a power, um, definitely a power in sound, in
Yeah.
music. So that leads me to say this, again, not to scare anybody or to make anyone, you know frightened or anything, but just be careful of the frequencies in the music that you listen to. Again,
Yep. And
right,
in the words.
and
Yep.
the words,
What you
right.
say and what you listen to. And yeah, very well said. Yep.
Yes, and with me not knowing the whole, at the time of me starting to change the type of lyrics that I incorporate in my music, I didn't know all the intricate details of the frequencies and all that, but I just knew, at the time, that I wanted to start putting something out there that was more uplifting to not only myself but other people, because I'm a firm believer in what you give is what you receive, and you reap what you sow, and the law of karma and all that. So I didn't want to continue to put garbage out there, and take responsibility for what I, um, project and what I put out there. So now the hip hop lyrics, the rap lyrics that I create, I make sure it's that it's affirming, life affirming, and something that will actually benefit you. Bring the seed of benefit with it, with the words that I say. So that's amazing.
That is so
And
awesome. I love that so much. And I love your lyrics. They're in a rhythmical way that they're almost like a mantra. I
right,
love it because the way you structure your lyrics, it's it's like once you've heard it, it kind of sticks in your head and it kind of just does its magic. There's medicine in it. I love it. That's why I'm very, very happy that you invited me to come and chit chat.
yes, yes, and I'm happy to have you here. Very, very excited. And you mentioned some acting in television, theater. Can you give us a little bit of insight on that as well?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know if you know the musical Aida. The musical Aida, it was on Broadway and well, anyway,
Okay,
um, I wasn't on Broadway, but the whole movie, the whole theater production is Elton John and Tim Rice. They
okay,
made
Elton John.
yeah, they made this whole new version of Verdi's Aida, also kind of classical, but they made it like a pop thing. Tim Rice is from Jesus Christ Superstar, made all that
Oh,
music, and
okay,
so it has that undertow of drama and the poppiness of Elton John. That's how I started off basically my career. I was 21, and then I was cast for the role Aida, which was
oh,
really
okay,
really awesome. And that's when I just kind of like went off into like series and movies. Actually, the cool thing is, one person you will know, because a lot of it is here in Europe, but one thing you will know is I did a voice acting for the movie Home, which
wow,
is a animated movie, which Rihanna does the voice of Tip, and I did it here in Holland. And so they flew me over to go and meet her and have like this interview with her. And so that was awesome.
oh
That was
man,
awesome.
that
So
was, yeah. She
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
performed in this the in here in the U.S. in at the Super Bowl, at the football
Yep.
Super Bowl this year,
Yep.
yes,
The
it was
whole
her.
world
So
saw that. Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
amazing that the wonderful connections that you're making. And the thing is, I'm sure you know this too. When you connect with your inner self and your purpose, and things just start unfolding in the universe, things just open up, and now it's like, I'm not saying that you don't appreciate it, but you expect it. You expect good things to come, and and
Exactly.
you're grateful, but you know that this is the way you're thinking, the way that you're speaking, the way that you're vibrating, um, attracts these wonderful experiences to you. And you know that if there are some experiences um, that you encounter that are of adverse nature, that they're going to bring with it, as Napoleon Hill would say, a seed of an equal benefit. So just
Very.
amazing. I can just
It's
pick up on your
awesome.
energy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I love how you took it there because I always felt kind of like unworthy, or why is this happening, or and it's like, well, why me, all of
Right.
that. And once you kind of ripen into the way you think, it gives you such an authority but also a sovereignty in how you think. Just like when you said, if adversity comes, it also means that that was you, right? It also means that there are some learning things and some stepping stones, and it's always an invitation. So it's not a. This is what I teach my clients as well. It's not a hoping and a wishing and a praying and a begging and a pleading and I'll do whatever it takes if I could just. That's gonna push it away. It's like
Way.
it's like a majestic, like in Egypt. I always take them to Egypt, right? There's this majestic, you're sitting on a throne and you're not like commanding, you're not demanding, but you're welcoming in just by being you. If you are you, and the whole apologetically is kind of like a hashtag now, but it
Right.
is it is actually what it is. It's like, this is me, this is what I want. Why? Because I want it. That would be so awesome to me. And you let it go. You go about your business and you just welcome it in. And that's
Wow.
when life will surprise you, right? With a present, with a new present. That's what I always, so yeah, I love living
Yes,
that way, teaching it that way. Yeah.
that's amazing, and thank you for sharing that segment of wisdom and golden nugget, because I totally resonate with it. Um, I'm still a work in progress, as we all are, but just knowing that I gear my life on such principles as you just mentioned right there, life is just it flows so much better. It
Oh,
flows so much better. And I'm just so thankful, and just attracting those like such as yourself into my experiences, if only for just a moment, just adds value um, to not only what I'm doing and to other people, but myself as well. Because when I'm here, uh, I'm sure people now that have been watching me for a while can tell. They can tell if I'm doing this podcast for my own
mhm.
ego, or for my own uh, just benefit of selfish motives, or if I really, this is really my passion. This is part of me being who I am and working on myself and reaching towards my higher self when I engage in these dialogues with these amazing dialogues with people from around the world. And you can't put a monetary value on that, because it helps me spiritually, mentally, and that's the most wealth to me that anyone can get. you know
Yeah,
so
so not only
yes,
material wealth, but spiritual wealth.
spiritual wealth, and it
That's,
attracts
yeah.
abundance to you all the way around. I don't want to leave that part out, but that's what I believe abundance. We want abundance in all areas,
Yep.
but people know that it starts in the mind. It starts, your spirit, everything, not just here. And it's just amazing. And like I've said this before, this podcast, um I know it's unfolding and reaching more and more people, but if it only was to reach one person uh, every day, I'd still do it. I'm not going to stop, because why would I stop something that's beneficial?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
almost like, exercise or eating a good salad or vegetables. I'm not going to stop doing that. It's beneficial.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it's amazing. So moving on, you have a business, a LLC, or what do you have?
Yeah, yeah, it's a coaching business.
Okay.
It's called DDD University, and DDD stands for Dream, Devote, Do. And this is actually basically what we're talking about, right? It starts in the mind. You have this dream, and then life happens.
Right.
And a lot of people that aren't um, educated enough in how to navigate life kind of let life decide what can happen with them. But if
Victim
you
of circumstances.
exactly
Go ahead.
if
I'm
you
sorry.
no, I love it, I love
You're
it.
just speaking my kind of language, and oftentimes I have to catch myself, because you saying things and then I get excited, like, oh yeah, I know what she's talking about. But
I
go ahead.
love it. I love it. No, join in anytime. Like, but that's what happens when we harmonize. So
Right. Right.
that's good. But what I teach is how to devote to the dream,
Right.
and to have it come to life within your life. And so who I do this with and for are creative business owners, because I believe that, like you, right, they have a mindset of creating wealth and abundance, and the more they can do that, the more they can reach. And so, like you, I have this passion, this mission to uplift the energy of this world, right? I mean, just like Bob Marley said, the people that are trying to make this planet worse aren't taking a day off. So how could I, right? So, and that resonated with me so much. So yeah, that's the coaching I do. I do that on the basis of epigenetics, which is also the kind of the same thing as cymatics, but the effect it has on the biological tissue within the body. So how sounds and thoughts and energy change your DNA, basically. And NLP, so neuro linguistic programming. How do you speak in the inner mind to yourself, and how do you project yourself out? And breath work, which is basically what we start doing the second we get here. But there's so little knowledge about the power of breath. Just one teeny tiny thing that I always teach my clients is the ritual that we all were taught coming up, and that's been since probably like the beginning of time, is grown-ups taught their children to close their eyes, make a wish, so make a construct within the mind. Don't tell anybody, right? Keep it for yourself. And then once you are ready, blow out the candles. Now, of course, like popular life has made it, if you don't blow out the candles, your wish won't come true. Or if you tell somebody, your wish won't. That's none of that. It's none of that. It's like if you can hold a thought long enough, also Napoleon Hill, right? If you can hold a thought long enough, passionate enough, you really want it, and you give it your breath of life, you blow it into the world, you let it go, you have a party with your friends, right? And sooner or later, you might open up a present, and what you wished for is in your lap, right? And I just love that story of how God or universe or whatever you like to call it has created this structure in which we can kind of like order, just like food, like take out food or something. You can order little presents into your life. I just love it. And it's just so powerful. I mean, if you can save lives of children in Africa, or build water wells wherever, just by understanding this concept, hey, just like you, why wouldn't I continue doing this, right?
Right, right. And like I said, to add to that, just the energy that we're sending out into the universe by engaging passionately
Yeah.
in a conversation like this is also uplifting, and it's priceless, because not only are we um, indulging in this energy now, but it's being recorded, so it will continue to go over and over and over and more, reach here and there, and just the inner, and this energy will always be here,
Mhm.
just like our souls will. But what I'm saying is that even 100 years from now, someone go on online, and they'll see what resonate what, and listen to this, watch this conversation and listen to it. And so it's amazing.
I
That's
love
amazing. And that's amazing what you are doing. Let's rewind just a little bit, and you don't have to go too deep, but what inspired you to start in this line of work of being a practitioner and coach and all that? What inspired you to do this? And how
Yeah,
did you know? I mean, I can't ask you that, because I could ask you that. How did you know what to do or whatnot? But if I look at my circumstances, things just unfold. But just
you
back
have to
to
call it.
back to the
Yeah.
original question. We'll go with that. What led you? Was there some turning point in life that just said, or you saw someone? I don't know. I'm just throwing out things out there.
Yeah. No, that's um the interesting thing was, when I had singing lessons at the conservatory when I was 17, my teacher at the time, Coco York, she's from Arkansas, and she was living in Holland as well, and she taught me about the voice. But the thing was, we would never sing during our lessons. We were always philosophizing, and we were always like getting deep into conversation and stuff. And so she took me once to like a metaphysics retreat, basically,
We
to
go.
learn about the. Yeah, that's how I got introduced to thinking bigger and smaller and
Right.
in betweener, right? And so
Yes.
that always stuck with me as I grew. Um, and the entertainment industry is so weird and
I get
two
it.
dimensional, and right. So you kind of start taking the meta position out there. You start looking at your life going like,
Yeah, no,
things
I
that make
get
you go,
exactly what you're saying without even saying it. I get
right?
exactly you.
So
Yes,
and
yes,
so I was, and when the world stopped, that's when I was like, okay, I can't. We couldn't perform, right? We couldn't be around people,
right.
and so I was like, how can I? Where's my purpose? I went through it. Besides what was going on a global scale, I went through that also on identity scale. Like, who am I? What am I going to do? What am I here for? And I've always been uplifting, right? When a little girl was playing on the piano and trying to make people happy and screaming, shouting, hollering on stage and everything, I liked making people happy and uplifting them. And I figured not just for a Spotify stream or for an hour on stage,
Exactly.
I wanted to touch lives. And if I can help them in the fabric of their life, I mean, what bigger gift is that to be able to give? But also for me, it's a gift for me to be able to
Yes,
do that.
that's exactly
And so I figured, but then I need to come correct. I need to know my stuff, right? Just,
right.
just like
Exactly.
music
No,
theory and everything. So I had to learn about NLP, and I had to learn about the science about the breath and what it does with the body. And of course, every human being is different. So that's where the creativity and the sensitivity comes in. And yeah, I just love the effect it's having on, yeah, on the people I'm helping it with. Yeah.
amazing, Leona. Uh, before we conclude this segment, how can people find you? Find you have a website, links. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, if this is interesting to you listening and watching, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. You can just go to workwithleona.com. It's very simple, workwithleona.com. That will take you to my calendar. We could get on a 15-minute call and just get to know each other, see if I can help you with anything. I have a webinar which is called Ditch Self-Doubt and Do It. Ditch self-doubt and do it. If you go to my website, ddduniversity.com, you'll find all the information there as well. So,
Wow, amazing. Wow. And when is that webinar? Hey, you just have them all the time or
yeah, actually, I give them, I think, like once a month. I do them
once a
live.
month?
I don't like the whole, I do like the automated stuff. Trust me,
Right,
I do.
right, right, right.
But to like really talk to people, that webinar is something I do live with the people that are there. So we have like a real conversation, and I have like a little master class. And so yeah, I do them once a month at least. So you can just check and see when I'm having it. And yeah, I'd welcome anyone on there. I just love spreading this information. You can tell probably.
Yes, yes, I can feel it too. Yes, amazing. Leona Philippo, everyone. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here, watching and or listening. Be sure to hit that like button, that subscribe button on whatever platform you're on to hear more content like this. And be sure to check out the Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved website, which is 333 Empower. That's EMPOWER.com. Sending love and appreciation to everyone, and may just all good things. I'm talking about health, wealth, success. May it circulate in all areas of your life. Thank you very much. EnlightenedEmpowered.com. See you soon.